But right now, police are investigating a disturbing case of domestic violence along the shoreline. Officers say the suspect is accused of brutally beating a mother and her two small children in Bridgeport, and we know he has a lengthy criminal history.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Marcy Jones live now in studio breaking down what we know so far about this case. Marcy.
Good morning. Well, we need to warn everybody at home that some details of this case are difficult to hear. However, the important news is that all three victims are alive and that good neighbors are likely the reason for that.
Police responded to an apartment near the corner of Main Street and Capitol Avenue around 10 a.m. Wednesday after neighbors reported hearing an assault. That's when police encountered 38-year-old Abdulrahim Sulaiman walking away from the scene. Officers quickly discovered Sulaiman had left a 33-year-old mother, her 4- and 6-year-old children badly beaten and covered in blood. Sulaiman is no stranger to police. He has several prior convictions, including when he was charged with felony assault and risk of injury to a minor in 2021. Unfortunately, experts with the Connecticut Coalition Against Domestic Violence say they often deal with repeat offenders and victims, adding since the pandemic, there has been a startling increase in brazen, aggressive attacks.
We see the amount of children that are witness to or subject to violence increasing. And we are also seeing the level of violence, meaning the escalation of incidents or instances of conflict, certainly increasing.
Sulaiman was placed under arrest and faces multiple charges, including 3 counts of attempted murder, first-degree assault, and criminal possession of a firearm. He will be held without bond and arraigned this morning at Bridgeport Superior Court. If you or anyone you know is struggling with domestic abuse, please know that help is available. There's a number on your screen and on our website for assistance. In the studio, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.